Registered Phenomena Code 161. Object Class Beta Purple. Hazard Types: Biohazard, Contact Hazard, Toxic Hazard, Ideological Hazard, Sensory Hazard, Containment Protocols. Recovered quantities of RPC-161 are to be stored in the Terran subsector of Site-001 inside pressurized gas cylinders, kept in a temperature-cooled chamber. In the event of any personnel coming into contact with RPC-161, or RPC-161 escaping containment, an MST Echo 08 detachment is to be called for immediate recontainment, and evacuation is to be executed with discretion. Access to RPC-161 for testing requires written permission from 3 Level 4 researchers, and all personnel are required to wear hazmat suits of at least Protection Level A. Test logs are permitted to wear hazmat suits with Protection Level B or below. Description: RPC-161 is a gaseous, yellow substance with an unidentifiable chemical composition. RPC-161 has been reported to have a scent that is often compared to the smell of burning plastic, and will irritate nasal passages, throat, and lungs in all short and long-term exposures. No boiling or freezing point has been successfully discovered regarding RPC-161, and despite often matching its environment's temperature, RPC-161 will remain as a gas. RPC-161 demonstrates extremely dangerous reactions with any cellular structure it comes into contact with. Exposure to RPC-161 will lead to mass apoptosis within the organism, effectively killing off large chunks of cells at a time. Programmed cell death within multicellular organisms. How and why this violent reaction takes place is currently unknown. RPC-161's effects are extremely difficult to slow down or stop without extreme and early decontamination of the exposed subject, henceforth designated as RPC-161-1. RPC-161-1 has never demonstrated any acknowledgement of the RPC-161's effects. When questioned or confronted about RPC-161, the subject will often become agitated and refuse any further questioning. RPC-161 will be incapable of viewing the effects of RPC-161, but will continue to view the gas as it had before coming into contact with RPC-161. RPC-161-1's mental state will slowly deteriorate in the span of 10 minutes, up to the point of little or no brain activity. In this state, RPC-161-1 is now considered deceased. Large, disc-shaped tumors will begin to form on RPC-161 structure. These tumors are filled with RPC-161, and will easily break open and release the gas upon contact with any surface. RPC-161 incidents have occurred globally, and all have been preceded by sightings of a tall, bipedal figure, resembling that of a human wearing a white, baggy hazmat suit and a gas mask. This entity, now designated RPC-161-2, has never directly displayed aggression, or any acknowledgement of its surroundings. RPC-161-2 has been reported to move in a robotic, professional manner, performing its task without pause. The task in question is as follows. RPC-161-2 will travel to an area of its apparent choosing, set down, and open a cylinder of RPC-161, and proceed to calmly leave the scene. RPC-161-2 has never been spotted during an incident by RPC personnel, and is currently uncontained. Addendum. Interview Log, December 9, 2008. Number 121-863-A. This is a live transcription of Captain Samuel interview. regarding the events of number 121-863-A. On December 9, 2008, rumors about a lurking man, dressed in a white, baggy suit, and an interestingly creepy gas mask, began to spread around the small town of California. The man was reported as tall, lanky, limping around slowly, and always paired with a large tank of mysterious contents. The rumors were often dismissed as a joke, or a child's story to scare the other children. Slowly, rumors became reports, as multiple non-emergency calls were made to the police about a suspicious person, always stalking about just outside their homes, or on the edge of a particularly forested park. As it would, this intrigued the local police department, and small investigations were made many times to no avail. The town only got its first taste of what was happening on December 23rd. Many of the same phone calls as before were made to the local police department, but instead of multiple locations, stories, and scenarios, each call had the same report: a tall, lanky man holding a large tank of mysterious contents, walking around the park and scaring the locals. Non-emergency calls quickly turned to emergency ones, though. The police were extremely concerned, and the Authority quickly found out about it too. The man, they said, was at the park, releasing some strange yellow gas that was certainly heavier than air. The gas was drifting with the wind, right into the most populated area of sat and benched people admiring the park, or their phones, or toys, or books. The most cursed thing about it was that it was a particularly windy day. The gas came right at him, quickly, and effectively contaminating most of the locals. The decay started quickly. Everybody thought they were the only one who wasn't getting affected, I guess. They sure slowed down, screaming at their friends and family that something was happening to them, trying to give them medical support. That's when we arrived, Echo 08. That's when we arrived. We've been called to action quickly, after we took notice of the emergency calls to the police department. We can only get there so fast, you know. The whole thing scared me. People were crying, while half of their face was practically melting off. Not crying from pain or fear for their own life. They were crying and screaming because they only saw everybody else suffering. It was truly hell. No fire, no brimstone. Just people suffering for no clear reason. Just wanting to go home and take care of the afflicted and contaminated. Their children, their dad, their grandma. It was a horrific sight. Putting aside all the emotions I felt in me right then, we got the locals as far away as possible, as fast as possible. I almost threw up when I saw people bumping into those dead, tumor-infested bodies. So fucking freaky. Medical support was already setting up a decontamination camp, but we all knew it was well too late. Once everybody still alive was heading towards the camp, we made a game plan to clean up the gas. We knew it spread quickly, and it was already spreading down towards the main town. We got to work quickly, using some strange equipment the Authority gave us to try and vacuum the damn mess up. Some souped-up HEPA vacuum the tech nerds made that would keep the gas in, safe and away from everybody else. It worked for the most part, but we had to take a pause in between every while to move the vacuum's contents into another container. Yeah, we were given plenty. In the end, we had gotten as much gas as we could into the containers. It'd be gracious to say we got all of it, but I think we did a job well done. Maybe not in that town specifically, but it's sure as hell there. We got the decontamination camp set up immediately, before the onpour of contaminated folks stumbled their way into it. We washed up the ones that we deemed capable of living any longer, and left the others to die, then burnt them. Not the most humane thing I've done here, but there wasn't much we could do. That was part of the job, though. I'm sure the Authority got some stupid amnestics for the citizens, and blamed it on some widespread fire. The civilians were evacuated out of the town. We got control of it. We went for one last sweep of the town, getting every corner, and particle of residue out of this graveyard. The fact that we haven't had any other calls from the area proves that we did a good job. It's funny that we never saw any scary man holding a large container of the stuff, though.